Okay, rational function. So a rational expression is a polynomial divided by another polynomial. On the other hand, if we let p of x and q of x be two polynomials, then a function of the form f of x is equal to p of x over q of x is called a rational function. So remember, rational function expressed as a quotient. So kapag nakaganto pong form siya, ibig sabihin, we can say that the given function is a rational function. So, two polynomials po yung ating rational function. Polynomial divided by another polynomial. Okay, note, the denominator of a rational function cannot be 0. So, hindi daw po pwedeng maging 0 ang denominator ni rational function. Any value of the variable that would make the denominator 0 is not permissible. In other words, since division by 0 is impossible, a rational function has a discontinuity whenever its denominator is 0. So again, remember, hindi pwedeng maging 0 si denominator. So balikan po natin yung basic lessons natin nung tayo ay junior high school. Kapag si 0 po ay nasa numerator, any number si denominator, then the answer is always 0. Kapag si 0 naman po ay nasa denominator, tapos any number yung numerator, the answer is undefined. And then, if both your numerator and denominator is 0, then the answer is indeterminate. Again, 0 divide by 0, the answer is indeterminate. Okay, remember ha, bawal maging 0 si denominator. Bakit naging bawal maging 0? Kasi siya po ay magiging undefined. Okay, so meron po tayong tinatawag na asymptote. So when we say asymptote, it is a line or a curve that the graph of a function gets close but does not touch. So as you can see po doon sa ating graph, given po natin na graph, etong red na graph na to, yan po ang ating given na asymptote. Lalapit lang po yan ng lalapit doon sa given na vertical or horizontal asymptote po natin, pero never po silang magta-touch or mag-meet. Okay. So in graphing rational function, we need first to look for. Okay, hahanapin natin itong apat na ito. So first is a vertical asymptote, second horizontal asymptote, third X intercept, fourth is Y-intercept. Okay, start muna tayo kay vertical asymptote. X value in a graph which a function approaches but does not actually reach. So paano po natin isi-solve si vertical asymptote in the given relation or in the given rational function? So we will let our d be equal to 0, or we will let our denominator be equal to 0. And then after that, let's solve for x. Okay? Next. Horizontal asymptote. Ano? Ano ba nangyayari? In graphing rational function, we need first to look for the following. First is vertical asymptote, second horizontal asymptote, third x-intercept or also known as abscissa, fourth is y-intercept or also known as ordinate. So let's start with the vertical asymptote. So how can we solve for the vertical asymptote? We will let our denominator be equal to 0. And then after that, we will solve for the value of our x. Okay, next, for horizontal asymptote, we have y value in a graph which a function approaches but does not actually reach. So, dito po sa ating horizontal asymptote, meron po tayong tatlong rule na susundan. Okay, ito po. You have A, B, and C. So for letter A, if n of x is less than d of x, then y is equals to 0. Meaning, if the degree or the exponent of your numerator is less than the denominator, then matik your y will be equal to 0. For example, let's have x minus 2 over x squared plus 9. Okay, as you can see, the degree in our numerator is 1, yung highest degree po. The highest degree of our denominator is 2. Our degree of numerator, which is 1, is less than the degree of our denominator, which is 2. So, meaning, our y will be equal to 0. So, titingnan mo lang po ang equation mo para ma-identify mo kung ano po si horizontal asymptote. Okay? And then, combine lang po ko-compare lang po natin si exponent or si degree. Okay, letter B. If your numerator or if the degree of your numerator is equal to the degree of your denominator, then y will be equal to the leading coefficient. Okay, for example, let's have 2x minus 4 over 3x plus 5. Okay. So, highest degree sa numerator, we have 1. Highest degree sa denominator, we have also 1. So, the degree of your numerator is equal to the degree of your denominator. Then, what will be our y? Our y will be equal to the leading coefficient. Ma'am, ano pong leading coefficient? Yung number po na kasama ng variable doon po sa may highest po na exponent. Okay? So, exponent ito ay 1, variable ay x. Yung katabi niya, we have 2 sa numerator. And then sa denominator naman, yung leading coefficient ng highest degree mo, we have 3. So, our y will be equal to 2/3. Okay, again, kapag equal po ang degree ng inyong numerator at denominator, your y will be the leading coefficient. Next, letter C. If your degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of your denominator, then y is equal to none. It means no existing horizontal asymptote. For example, x squared minus 5 over x minus 1. Okay, as you can see, degree ng numerator 2. Degree ng denominator ay 1. So, the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. Then, your y will be equal to none. This will be your final answer. Y is equal to none. Pero doon po sa iyong magiging graph, wala ka po talagang makikitang nag-exist na horizontal asymptote. Okay, next, X Intercept. Here, you will just let y will be equal to 0. And then, Y-intercept, you will let x be equal to 0. Okay, so after nating masolve si vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, X-intercept, intercept, sunod po nating isosolve or hahanapin po natin is yung table of values. So, sa table of values po, always po kayong magsiset ng values sa ating x starting to negative 2. From positive 2. So, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 always. And you will solve for the values of y. And then, after mo po si table of values, last mo na pong gagawin is to graph. Okay. So, let's have an example. Okay, for first example, we have x minus 2 over 2x minus 3. So, ano pa ang una nating isosolve? We will solve for the vertical asymptote. Okay, anong sabi natin sa vertical asymptote? We will let our denominator be equal to 0. So, ano ba denominator natin dito? Numerator. This is the denominator. So, denominator natin, we have 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, and then after that, since we are solving for the value of x, transpose. We have 2x is equal to, since this is negative 3, it will become positive 3. Okay, and then eliminate po natin yung kasamang leading coefficient ni variable, which is 2. So, divide both sides by 2. We have the value of our x is 3 over 2, or that is 1.5. Okay, and this will be our vertical asymptote. Okay, next, number 2. We are solving for the horizontal asymptote. Si horizontal asymptote po ay makukuha natin based po sa degrees ng ating given. And then sa rule po din na given. Okay, so tingnan muna natin po ang ating degrees. Sa numerator, degree ay, highest degree ay 1. Sa denominator, highest degree din ay 1. So saang pasok po, saang letter po sila pasok doon sa rule? Balikan natin yung letter. 1 yung numerator, 1 yung denominator. So it means that the degree of your numerator is equal to the degree of your denominator. So letter B. Ano daw magiging y mo? Y will be the leading coefficient. So, since leading coefficient, kunin po natin ang leading coefficient nung degree mo na may highest degree mo na highest degree and then variable. So, ano po ang leading coefficient ng ating numerator? We have x raised to 1 and then ang coefficient po nito is 1 over. We have sa denominator naman, highest degree is also 1 and then variable x, ang kasama niyang leading coefficient ay 2. So, final answer, we have y is equal to 1/2 or that is 0.5. And that will be our vertical or that will be our horizontal asymptote. Okay, next, the third one. We are solving for the X Intercept. Okay, so X Intercept, ano po ang sabi doon? We will let our y be equal to 0. So, ano po ba ang y natin dito? Yung given po natin na function, which is yung f of x, we will change that to y is equal to x minus 2 over 2x minus 3. Okay, again, yung function x, iti-change natin as y. And then sa x-intercept, para makuha po natin, we will let y is equal to 0. So, itong y na to sa top, papalitan mo ng 0. Is equal to x minus 2 over 2x minus 3. And then, apply po natin si rational equation. So, since isang expression sa left, isang expression sa right, we can cross multiply. So, it will become 0 times 2x minus 3 is equal to x minus 2. But since this is being multiplied by 0, then of course, the answer is 0. And then copy sa nasa right side, which is x minus 2. And then transform, the value of our x will be equal to, since this is negative, it will become positive. So, what will be our ordered pair? Ordered pair will be 2, 0. Okay, kapag X-intercept po, yung nakuha mong value sa X, ilalagay mo sa domain, sa ordered pair, or sa X ng ordered pair. And then, ang magiging Y mo ay 0. Sa Y-intercept naman, yung Y mo yung X mo yung 0. Yung Y mo naman, yung mapapalitan mo ng value, kung ano man ang makuha mo sa Y. Okay? Next, Y-intercept naman po. Para makuha si Y-intercept, we need to change x to 0. Okay, so ito yung equation mo ha. So, sulat mo ngayon, y is equal to, so since x to, palitan mo ng 0. 0 minus 2. Since may katabing x ulit si 2, papalitan mo yon ng 0. Minus 3. Okay? So, 0 minus 2, that is negative 2. 2 times 0, of course, that is 0. 0 minus 3, that is negative 3. And negative 2 divided by negative 3, they are same negative. So, it will become positive 2 thirds. So, what will be the ordered pair? Ordered pair will be 0 and yung nakuha mo pong value ng y, which is 2 thirds. Okay, next. Okay, ayan. So, table of values and then i-graph natin. Ano nga yung given natin na equation? We have y is equal to x minus 2 over 2x minus 3. Okay. So, sabi po dyan, sa fifth natin gagawin, ito yung fifth na gagawin po ninyo ha, si table of values. And then last is si graphing. Okay. So, sa table of values, lalat mo lahat, ang value ng x mo is from negative 2 to positive 2. And then you will solve for the value of y. Ma'am, paano po isa-solve yung value ng y? Lahat ng value po ng x, isa-substitute nyo lang sa given na function or given na equation. And then, makukuha mo na yung value ng y. Example, negative 2 tayo. Kung ang x mo ay negative 2, what will be your y? So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng x dito, papalitan mo ng negative 2. So, negative 2 minus 2, 2 times negative 2 minus 3. So, that is negative 4 over 2 times negative 2. That is negative 4 minus 3. And then negative 4 over negative 4 minus 3, that is negative 7. But since pareho po silang negative, it will become y is equal to 4 over 7. Okay, so ibig sabihin, if the value of your x is negative 2, then your y will be 4 over 7. Ano po ulit ang gagawin? Ang gagawin lang po ay isa-substitute lang po lahat ng given value ni x sa lahat ng nakikita mong x sa given. Okay, another value of x, we have negative 1. So, y is equal to negative 1 naman. Minus 2 over 2 times negative 1 minus 3. So, it will become negative 3 over 2 times negative 1, that is negative 2. So, negative 2 minus 3. So, negative 3 minus 3 is negative 5. But since they are both negative, then y will be equal to 3 over 5. Okay? Ayan. Next. 0 naman. Okay, 0 po tayo. Erase natin to kasi wala na tayong space. So, if your x is 0, then what will be your y? So, lahat ng x papalitan ng 0. So, y is equal to 0 minus 2 over 2 times 0 minus 3. So, of course, numerator 0 minus 2 is negative 2. 2 minus 0 is, of course, 0. So, it will become negative 2 over negative 3. So, since they are both negative, it will become positive. So, we have 2 thirds. Okay, next, if the value of your x is 1. Okay, ano naman ang gagawin? You will substitute 1 sa lahat po ng nakikita niyong x sa equation. Okay, so magiging 1 minus 2 over 2 times 1 minus 3. 1 minus 2 is negative 1 over 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. Okay, last, we have y is equal to x. So, since x daw ay 2 naman, so 2 minus 2 over 2 times 2 minus 3. So, 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3 is 1. So, 0 over 1, of course, that is 0. So, you are done with the table of values. Now, proceed ka na po sa graphing. So, ano po ang una mong i-graph? So, i-graph mo po muna yung vertical asymptote. So, ano ang vertical asymptote natin? We have 1.5. So, ibig sabihin, between 2 and 1. So, pag sinabing vertical asymptote po, since vertical line siya, nakatayo, nakalay siya sa ating x-axis. So, remember, itong pahiga natin, yung pahiga po natin sa ating Cartesian plane, that is x, and then yung patayo ay ating y-axis. Okay? So, proceed tayo sa vertical asymptote. Nakalay siya sa ating x kasi nga siya ay patayo. So, since that is 1.5, let's say ito po si 1.5. So, meaning this will be your, okay, this will be our vertical asymptote. Okay? Next, horizontal asymptote. So, horizontal asymptote, we have nakalay naman to sa y. Okay, 0.5. So, ibig sabihin, since that is 0.5, it is between 0 and 1. Ito naman siya. Okay, nasa gitna ni 0 tsaka ni 1. So, this will be our horizontal asymptote. Ibig sabihin, ito po ngayon yung pagbibisa natin na dapat yung ating graph ay hindi po tumama both sa ating vertical at horizontal asymptote. Okay? Next. Okay. So, proceed po tayo doon sa ating X Intercept. Okay. Ano po ang ordered pair ng ating X Intercept? We have ang nakuha nating value ng x ay 2. So, kapag in-ordered pair natin siya, of course, papalitan mo na yung x natin. Nakuha natin na 2. So, we have 2, 0. So, x is 2, and then y is 0. So, we have this one. Okay? Next, y naman natin, y is equal to 2/3. And then, kapag tinransform natin si 2/3 into decimal, it will become 0.66666. 0.66666. Okay, may bar sign na po yan. So, ibig sabihin, ordered pair is 0 and 0.66. Okay? Isin ko lang ha. Ayan. So, since that is 0.666, tsaka 0, since ito ang 0.5, nasa taas nito onte. Okay? So, let's say ito po yan. Okay. After nyo pong i-plot, si X-Intercept, yung ordered pair ng X-Intercept, and then yung Y-Intercept, proceed na kayo din sa table of values ninyo. So, sa table of values natin, if your X is negative 2, ito yon, negative 2, then Y is equal to 4/7. And 4/7, when we transform it into decimal, ang makukuha po nating sagot ay 0.57. Okay. Next, i-transform muna natin lahat sa decimal para hindi po kayo malito sa fraction. Okay, so next we have 3 divided by 5 or 3/5. That is 0.6. Next naman po, we have 2/3. That is 0.66. Okay, so plot na po natin yan. If our x is negative 2, then y will be 0.57. So, ito yung 0.5, diba? Let's say, nandito siya. Next, if your x is negative 1, ito naman, y will be 0.6. Medyo magkalapit lang sila onte. Okay. Next, if your x is 0, then y is 0.66. Ito na yan, si ating y-intercept. Next, if your x is 1, then the value of your y is also 1. And then if your x is 2, then y is 0. And then after that, connect nyo po yung inyong lines. Okay, so as you can see po, yung ating graph ay lalapit lang po ng lalapit sa ating vertical at horizontal line, pero hindi po sila magta-touch or mag-mimit. Okay? Sige. Ayan. Lalapit lang ng lalapit yan ha. Pero hindi po sila magta-touch or mag-mimit. And that will be our graph. Okay. Next. Proceed tayo for our example number 2. So, given natin sa example number 2, we have 4x over 2x plus 1. So, first, let's solve for the vertical asymptote. Okay, so we will let our denominator be equal to 0. So, anong denominator natin? We have 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then transpose, it will become 2x is equal to negative 1. Divide both sides by 2. X will be equal to negative 1 half. Okay, so yan po ang ating vertical asymptote. Negative 1 half. Next, let's solve for the horizontal asymptote. So, horizontal asymptote po natin, meron po tayo ang rule. Okay, so check po natin ang ating degree or exponent. Sa numerator, highest degree is 1. Sa denominator, also, highest degree is 1. So, your numerator or the degree of your numerator is equal to the degree of your denominator. Then, what will be our y? Our y will be equal to the leading coefficient. So, kunin mo ngayon yung leading coefficient ng given natin na variable. So, first, sa numerator, we have 4. And then, sa denominator, we have 2. And that is equal to 2. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Okay, next. Third, we have X Intercept. Okay, anong sabi natin sa X Intercept? We will let our y be equal to 0. Okay. So, change natin ito sa function of x sa y. Okay. And then, yung y natin, ililet natin as 0. So, 0 is equal to 4x over 2x plus 1. Cross multiply. So, it will become 0. 2x plus 1 is equal to 4x. Okay. So, since this is the given equation is being multiplied to 0, it means the answer is 0. 0 is equal to 4x. Tapos, merong kasamang leading coefficient si variable na greater than sa 1. So, divide both sides by 4. Cancel, cancel. What will be your x? Your x will be equal to 0 divided by 4 is 0. So, meaning, your ordered pair will be 0, 0. Okay, so origin. Next, 4. We need to solve for the y-intercept. Okay. So, sa y-intercept naman, you will let x be equal to 0. So, lahat ng x, papalitan mo ng 0. So, y is equal to 4 times 0 over 2 times 0 plus 1. So, 4 times 0, that is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So, we have 0 over 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. So, what will be our ordered pair? We have 0, 0. So, same na nasa origin. Okay. Now, proceed tayo sa table of values. So, kunin muna natin ang ating equation. We have y is equal to 4x over 2x plus 1. Okay. So, lahat ng ating given na x values, i-substitute po natin sa equation para makuha si y value. So, start tayo. Negative 2 muna. So, if your x is negative 2, then that is 4 times negative 2 over 2 times negative 2 plus 1. So, 4 times negative 2, that is 8 over 2 times negative 2, that is negative 4 plus 1. So, negative 8 over negative 4 plus 1, that is negative 3. So, since they are both negative, it will become positive 8 over 3. Okay? Next, if your x is negative 1, 1 naman. So, substitute. 4 times negative 1 over 2 times negative 1 plus 1. Answer, 4 times negative 1, that is negative 4. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 1. So, that is negative 4 over negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Since they are both negative, it will become positive. So 4 divided by 1 is 4. So value of our y is 4. Next, if the value of our x is 0, so that is 4 times 0 over 2 times 0 plus 1. So that is 0 over 0 plus 1. That is 0 over 1, and that is 0. Okay? Next, if the value of our x is 1, dito ko po isulat ha, pero erase ko po later. So we have to substitute 1 to the x of the equation. So that is 4 times 1 over 2 times 1 plus 1. So 4 times 1 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. So that is 4 over 3. Okay, and last we have if the value of our x is 2. So substitute 4 times 2 over 2 times 2 plus 1. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. We have 8 over 5. Okay. And then after that, yung ating given na fraction is i-transform natin sa decimal point. Okay. So 8 over 3, that is 2.67. Okay, next, 4 over 3, that is 1.33. And last one, we have 8 over 5, that is 1.6. Okay, and then, proceed na po tayo sa number 6, which is graphing. Okay. So, sa graphing natin, first po natin i-graph si ating vertical asymptote. Sa vertical asymptote natin, x is equal to negative 1/2. Tandaan, ito si x ha, ito si x, ito si y. Ang sabi, negative 1/2. Or that is negative 0.5. So, that is between 0 and negative 1. So, ito na po yan. Ito po ngayon ang ating vertical asymptote. Okay, vertical asymptote. Next, ang horizontal asymptote naman po natin, we have 2. So, y is equal to 2. So, ito naman po yun. Okay, so ito naman po ngayon ang ating magiging vertical asymptote. I know, this is horizontal. Sorry po. This is horizontal asymptote. Okay, next, plot po natin si X Intercept tsaka si Y-Intercept. So, same. Kung mapapansin niyo, same na 0, 0, 0, 0. So, nasaan lang yon? Nasa origin. Okay, nasa origin. Ayan po. Okay. So, after nating ma-plot si X Intercept and Y Intercept, proceed sa table of values. So, if your X is negative 2, then your Y will be 2.67. So, ito mo, yung 2.67, gitna ng 2 and 3, konti. So, let's say ito po. Okay, next. If your X is negative 1, then your Y will be positive 4. Next, if your X is 0, then Y is 0. Ayan na yun, nasa gitna na siya. If your X is 1, then your Y will be 1.33. So, let's say, ito po yan. And then, last, if your X is 2, then your Y will be 1.6. So, let's say, ito po siya. Okay, and then after that, connect nyo po lahat ng inyong points. And then, makakabuo na po kayo ng graph. Okay? So, kapag pinagpatuloy nyo po yung table of values, yung makukuha nyong value dyan, lalapit lang po ng lalapit yung value doon sa ating vertical and horizontal asymptote pero hindi po sila magta-touch or mag-mimic. Okay? Ayan. So, given po natin dito, we have try and learn exercises. But these exercises po, kayo po ang gagawa nito sa inyong mga bahay. Okay. Pakitry po ito at sasagutan po natin ito sa ating synchronous class. Okay? Ayan. So, summary of today's class po. So, recap 1. So, first is we have a method in solving the rational equation. First is when you multiply, you can use cross multiplication, and then applicable lang siya kapag ang first or yung nasa left side mo na equation is nag-iisa lang din katulad ng nasa right side. And then magagamit mo rin naman po si CRAM method. C stands for clear all fractions. R, remove all the grouping symbols. A is add or subtract similar terms, and M, multiply or divide the given leading coefficient. Okay, so recap number 2, how to find the Y-intercept, the X intercept. Again, if we will be finding Y-intercept, we will let X be equal to 0. If you are solving for X-intercept, we will let Y be equal to 0. If you are solving for vertical asymptote, we will let our denominator be equal to 0. And horizontal asymptote have 3 rules. If your numerator is less than your denominator, then Y will be equal to 0. If your numerator is equal to the denominator, then Y is equal to the leading coefficient. And last, if the numerator is greater than the denominator, Y will be equal to none. Okay. Next, recap number 3, we have to describe the graph of a rational function. As you can see po, dun po sa graph ng ating rational function, makikita natin na papalapit lang siya ng papalapit doon sa ating vertical and horizontal asymptote, pero sila po ay never na magta-touch or mag-mimic. And we are done for the day. So remember that we will be having our weekly problem set number 4 on Thursday, and it will be scheduled. So wait for my announcement. And also we will be having our activity number 4 that will be uploaded on Tuesday. And then it will be uploaded on our asynchronous time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you learned something new today, you can share and comment it down below. So thank you and God bless.